Welcome, my friends, back to the fog, an unforgiving and cruel world controlled by a malicious and twisted entity who takes delight in the fear, pain, and general suffering of others, where monsters stalk the night and terrified innocents flee for their very sanity and self-control. Many of the survivors who come to this realm are not adept at this art of staying alive. Most wouldn't know what to do in the face of pure evil like the entity. And yet some still are fighters. Some are souls who stare into the eyes of evil and don't give up willingly. Dying while fighting doesn't make you any less dead, but you might just take that evil down with you, and if not, then you make it work for your soul. This is the philosophy of Laurie Strode, the first licensed survivor in Dead by Daylight taken from the Halloween movie from 1987. Laurie Strode could best be described as the average girl. She was a solid AB student in high school, she was well liked by her family, her friends, and her teachers, and she was strong-hearted and willing to help others. But one Halloween night would change her life forever. It was a simple babysitting gig, just looking for some kids while making some side money. Not so bad. But what Laurie hadn't counted on was that a stalking predator had escaped and had targeted her as his next kill. Michael Myers, the silent, unfeeling, evil boogeyman of the Halloween franchise, was coming for her. Now, unlike his other victims, who had either not realized the threat he posed or had simply allowed him to indulge in his sick barbarism, Laurie fought back. When the killer had entered her home and slashed at her arm, Laurie moved the kids to safety. Then, taking a knitting needle, she stabbed him in the neck, incapacitating him. But Michael continues his pursuit. Laurie defends herself and the children again, stabbing him in the eye with a coat hanger, thrusting his own knife into his chest, and even managing to rip off the assailant's mask. It's only when Dr. Samuel Loomis appears and shoots Michael does the battle finally stop. Laurie had battled with the boogeyman and survived, but she was not done. I'm not going to go over the sequels to the Halloween franchise because frankly I haven't watched them and I don't really have much desire to. The original Halloween was a masterpiece of suspense and thrill, and I would argue it gave us a very creative and endearing character in Laurie. I'd even go so far as to say that horror movies like this present far stronger and independent woman than some action movies tend to do, where the woman, not being as strong or physically capable as her male peers, must be inventive, creative, and brave in the face of a monster like Myers. This independence and strength of will comes into play in Dead by Daylight in a big way, where, now that she's in a world of killers no less dangerous than Myers, her wits and her survival skills will once again be essential. Like all survivors, Laurie has no powers herself, but she comes with 3 unique perks that other survivors can learn. Laurie's perks are Sole Survivor, Object of Obsession, and Decisive Strike. Sole Survivor provides perks the longer you stay alive and others don't. Each time someone other than you is killed, you gain a token for a maximum of 3. Each token increases a range of vision in which the killer cannot see your aura for a maximum of 72 meters. In other words, the fewer other survivors survive, the harder it is for the killer to find you. But that's not all. When you're the last survivor in the match, you gain a 75% increase in speed to repair actions and a 50% increase in speed to opening the exit gates or the hatch. However, you are guaranteed to be the killer's obsession at the start of the round. This perk allows Laurie a greater chance of survival so long as others take the hit for her. So if you're an altruistic person, this isn't the perk for you. Object of Obsession links your aura reading abilities with the killer. When a killer reads your aura, in return you are able to see his, and your action speeds can increase up to 6%. And don't worry, he'll read your aura, because if you're the obsession, which this perk guarantees you will be, your aura will be revealed to the killer every 30 seconds for 3 seconds. I find this perk to be almost useless. The repair speed advantage it provides isn't enough for the price you pay of literally exposing yourself to the killer on a frequent basis. But Decisive Strike is perhaps one of the most beloved perks for survivors in game. Known affectionately as DSing, Decisive Strike allows a survivor a free Put Me Down card. After escaping a hook, Decisive Strike is active for up to 60 seconds. If the killer picks you up while it's active, you will be given a skill check. Succeeding will allow you to stab the killer and free yourself, stunning the killer for 3 seconds. However, once used, it can't be done again, so it's a one-hit perk. I can't tell you how often I've been hit by this. It's a favorite tool of the toxic survivor. In fact, I've had it where survivors will deliberately let themselves get caught by me, get off the hook, and then chase me so that I will hit them. And then after I pick them up, just for them to DS, crouch spam, and then evade me for the rest of the trial. A tool created to embody the personality and virtue and never giving up and using whatever is necessary to survive is now a weapon to bully people. Let that sink in. But truth be told, Laurie Strode is the embodiment of a true survivor. I actually really appreciate a character like this. She's not just a victim who unjustly was thrown into the darkness. She's someone who fought back against the darkness. She won't go down without a fight, and that's exactly what it means to be a fighter and a warrior and, yes, a survivor. Death is a certainty, but how we confront it and whether or not we accept it makes all the difference. I think it's nice to actually have a survivor who doesn't just sit there and go, oh well, I guess I'm going to die. Someone who actually says, no, I'm going to fight back. And Decisive Strike, while it annoys me in game, does embody that in a big way, and it shows her inventiveness and her willingness to keep on going despite the odds. For the entity though, this makes Laurie a prize specimen, so we can see just how long that iron will hold out. Particularly when he brings in an old enemy of hers to test her further. But we'll go into that on our next venture. Thank you one and all for joining me in this little venture through the fog, and I will see you next time. Take care.